And we are live. Hello. Good
What's
Fridays. Happy Fridays to everybody.
Happy Fridays.
Is it Friday?
Wow.
Have I forgotten? It's not Friday.
No, it's Friday.
Is it Friday?
It's
and we
Friday.
are officially T-minus 13 days.
Yeah.
T-minus 13 days?
Yeah.
To Switch 2. We're on the Switch 2 countdown.
Oh, my days.
I want to let everyone let us know in chat if you are hyped as we are.
We are super hyped.
Super hyped. And there's some early people here already.
Yes.
My favourite one so far is my guy Desbo2, who is back in chat due to lack of popular demand.
I really enjoy that. That's great.
That's amazing.
That is amazing.
Yes, we are back due to lack of popular demand.
We are
We've
indeed.
just finished recording next week's podcast.
We have, yes.
And we thought it's time to go live and share this week's news with you.
Yes, we are starting with some non-Nintendo news to start with, but then we will quickly get to the good stuff.
And I also say I will give a special 128 KB shout out to whoever guesses what my t-shirt is from, what the reference is. You can figure it out. It's probably not that hard if you know me.
No, I mean, I can read bits that other people might not because of your... Oh, no, you can see it on the camera.
Yeah, you
So,
can see it on
there
the
you go.
camera. I want to say hello to the people that are early and are already
Yes,
here.
yeah, thank you for turning up already.
We're early as well.
We're early, yeah.
We do this thing, right? So we finished recording the podcast and we were sat here and it was like 1:30 and we're just talking about games.
Yeah, it's like, why don't we just go live?
Why don't we just go live and talk about games? Like, that's what we do all the time anyway. Like, yeah, fair one.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, Dream Profit, member from last show.
Yes.
Hello.
Welcome.
Upa Tempuris, our resident admin and all things amazing. He
Yep.
makes the ship sail smoothly, especially in
Indeed.
Discord. Thank you. We love you.
Indeed.
Alistair Rickman, my guy Desbo, obviously, Ken Oral, Harrow, Upa again, Alistair Rickman, Abdul Bassett, and Rarok Tears.
Yep, which says, is this live or is this a premiere? This is a premiere, but we can, like, see...
We could live react to
yeah,
it.
yeah, exactly, yeah.
There's some people hyped for Switch 2.
Yes.
Matthew has guessed something about Shinra, and Jamie was there straight away going, it's got to be Final Fantasy. And Matthew says Final Fantasy 7. It is.
My favourite comment so far is by Abdul,
Yeah.
that says, never thought I could be actually attracted to the Switch 2.
It's fair, man. It's fair.
It's totally fair.
And I think that's a really big thing with the Switch 2. I think it's going to attract even more people.
So hyped. Like, it's unreal. For days now, I've just been like, I just want to be playing on the Switch 2, like, now.
Yes,
Like,
I know.
I don't want to wait,
I know.
like, 2 weeks. Less than 2 weeks now. Like, I
13 days.
want it now.
13 days. We are trying to plan out what we're going to do post-launch and during the
Yeah.
launch and stuff. We want to get as much cool stuff for you guys as we can.
Indeed.
As Jack says, best Switch 2 coverage channel. Oh, dude,
Yeah.
thanks. We're trying to figure out like what to do. I think what's going to happen, we've both got pre-orders,
Yeah.
but they're going to be posted pre-orders, as in we can't go to the shop and pick them up. So I don't know when they're going to arrive. And we've both got orders of different bits coming from different retailers because I was trying to find the best deals and stock and stuff.
I bought like the initial thing, and then I ended up started pre-ordering other stuff from loads of different retailers.
Same.
So I think I've got like 4 or 5 different shipments from different companies that say it will come on the day,
Who knows?
but I have no idea.
So depending on when things arrive, it's going to kind of change how things are done on launch day.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
hoping it's coming in the morning. If it comes in time, in decent time, whenever it comes, to be fair, I'm
Yes.
just blocking out the whole day. Whenever it arrives, I'm setting up as soon as I can, and I'm going to
Yes.
try and stream some Mario Kart
Yes.
straight away.
I'm going
Just
to be
hang out with you guys
on the other end because I will be filming an unboxing, probably a Switch 2 haul video, which some of our
Yeah.
members have been asking for. Like, why don't you do a haul video? And I'm like, that's exactly what I was planning to do, to show off everything I've bought. And then I'll go through like a transfer guide because people like to know that stuff. I'll try and like do sort of like the first bases covered.
Yeah.
And then if you're still streaming, if I've not got this like really late or something, if I'm like signed in and everything at that point,
Yep.
I'll see if I can join you.
It'd be so cool if we could game chat.
Yeah,
Mario.
well, that's the idea, isn't it? If you're playing Mario Kart, for instance, and I join in with game chat, I'll see if I can get a webcam to work on it. And so the stream will see me and hear my voice via your Switch too.
Yeah, that'd be
So,
cool. Yeah.
do you know what I mean? And I'll be able to hear you equally. So,
I want to say a massive shout out to Andrew, who is a member for 2 months now.
Wow.
Thank you, Andrew.
thank you.
And he then follows up saying, 498 more months as a member, and I've spent enough for a Switch 2. Which is absolutely perfect.
Thank
Love
you
it.
for all your support.
Harrow asks, who's going to a midnight release? I would love to know. Do you know what? I'm kind of gutted I'm not.
I'm going.
There's nothing round where we are that does that.
There's no store in the UK as far as I'm aware.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, game is inside the sports shops now.
Yeah. If you're in the UK, you know the pain of video game shops in the UK are just non-existent.
The only game store we have is a second-hand pawnbroker.
Yeah.
For the whole of the UK.
One thing I'm really curious about talking about that is how quickly we'll see Switch 2 second-hand.
Yeah.
And at what price?
Oh, like triple. Because the stock shortage is so shortages.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
You know?
Huge congrats on 100k. Thank you. Thank you very much, Jan Jan. Oh, it's Jan Jan Binks. You were here last week. Love it. I wonder how VRR will work on Switch 2 OLED. Flickering still a huge problem on OLEDs. Okay, we're going to get to the OLED thing.
That's our final
That's
story.
kind of the headline of the show.
Yeah.
Of course, some stories coming out about that.
Indeed.
And I want to, obviously talk about the potential of that, but also maybe cool that fire down a little bit, because whether it will happen or not is a different thing.
Yes.
Loads of chat. Keep the chats coming in, because I will catch up as we go. Too expensive, 120 hertz OLED, way too expensive. Looking at least $700-800. Definitely going to be one of the problems if they do decide to make it.
We'll touch on the OLED stuff later. I don't know if it would be that high, honestly. But yeah, there is going to be some potential issues there with the OLED stuff.
Jan Jan's taking the day off from work in Australia for launch day.
Wow.
Which, Andy, I can't remember, something happened and you were like, the day after the Switch 2's out.
It's brilliant timing, because my wife's going away for work, and she doesn't normally go away on a Friday for work. She's normally at the start of the week, so I'm always down here on Fridays. But it just so happened she said to me months in advance, she was like, oh, by the way, this Friday, well, it's actually like whole week she's gone, but she was like, yeah, so I'm not going to be there on the Friday, so you can't go on the Friday because I've got to look after my dog. And
so we can't get together to film the podcast.
Yeah, I said, I'm sorry, AJ, but the day after the Switch 2 comes, I'm not going to work.
Oh, how convenient.
Yeah, I'll still be obviously, doing videos and stuff.
The day of, the day after, that weekend, all I'm doing is Switch 2. I don't care what's happening.
The next 6 months.
6 months. Who is it? I just saw there. Alma says, I also took the week off.
Yes.
That's stylish. I like that.
Oh, my guy Despo knows what's up. Bring back Game Station. Yes.
Mate, that's harking back.
Yes.
That's not been around for a while.
Yes.
Jamie has just joined as a member. Welcome to 1KB. He's a 1KB member.
Welcome, Jamie.
And that's not Jamie. There's another Jamie
there
that
is
we know.
Another
That's why
Jamie.
you paused.
Yes, it is why I paused, yes.
And Tom Tycoon asks, does 128 KB stand for kilobyte or something weird?
Knowing us, it could be something weird.
And new member Jamie says, Kinky Boys?
Yes. That's it. 128 Kinky Boys. That's behind the cameras.
Yeah, that's true.
It's what keeps us going.
I've seen a few people ask. There was a few that asked on the 100k video.
Yes.
And I still can't get over that that's happened. It's kind of
I know, it's mad, isn't it?
But there's a few people that asked on that video, what's the story behind 128 KB? What's the lore? Maybe it's time to address.
Yes, we have addressed it a few times over the time.
But what I like is that my story changes every time.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure the story's changed over time.
It does stand for kilobyte. It does.
It does, yes.
In truth, 128 KB was the RAM capacity on my Atari.
Yes.
But it was also the RAM on the SNES, I believe it was.
Yeah.
It was 128 kilobytes. Anyway, in truth, when we were starting out, I just thought 128 KB sounded cool.
We wanted because there was a different name that was already in play, and we wanted a more concise name.
Yeah.
Something that was more noticeable, sticks in your mind, maybe a bit obscure, but also referencing like retro.
Yeah, like retro.
So
and a lot of the
just
stuff we were
worked.
doing at the start.
Yeah, it was retro.
We
stuff.
were like streaming retro games,
Yeah,
looking
yeah,
back at NES and SNES stuff. So it fitted really well. And and now it's just kind of stuck and it becomes a bigger.
It was nice and small and like memorable.
Yeah.
So it was just like, that's cool. And it's just stuck, you know?
Yeah. And what's funny now is if you Google it, at least here in the UK, if you Google 128KB, it's
straight to us.
straight to us. All references of like storage capacity have gone, which is hilarious.
Yes. Yeah.
In all seriousness, I found you guys because of the ROG Ally coverage. And it's actually nice to see some UK-based creators garnering a following in the handheld space. The quality of production is...
chef's kiss. Or Italian. This could be Italian quality.
Jamie, thank you so much. It's really kind of you. And yeah, we just love handheld gaming.
Yes.
And that's what this has become.
Indeed.
And you've made me fall in love with it. You've always loved handheld gaming.
Yeah. It's always been my thing.
And the Switch, we've just recorded a video actually. It's going to go out next week.
Yes.
About saying goodbye to the Switch.
Yes.
And the Switch is the reason this.
That's the podcast next week.
The reason the Ally. It is the podcast next
yes,
week.
It is. Yeah, Tuesday.
The Switch is the reason the Ally was here, why we've got the Steam Deck. The reason why handheld gaming is now like proper mainstream AAA games. It's all because of the Switch.
Yeah, the Switch opened the door, for sure.
So, yeah, just to kind of like embrace that, celebrate that. And as we said in that 100K video, just to be positive about it, because it's just all cool, man.
Yeah.
It's just all cool.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Right. I'm going to get to the first story.
Yes, and just for all you Switch lovers out there, we are coming to a lot of Switch news here, but we're going to start off with like more general gaming news. There's a couple of stories first. Well, there's actually only one, and then it goes into like handheld space, and then Switch.
Watch out. Oh, actually, no. And actually, the first story will affect handheld gaming, especially.
Yes.
So like Jamie there, which is talking of like the ROG Ally and stuff. And it's in Microsoft land, and Microsoft seemingly are actively testing the integration of Steam into Windows and Xbox. So will we see the Steam store integrated into Xbox?
That's crazy, isn't it? Because we've talked about this at length over quite a while now.
Yeah.
Because of the whole like what we dubbed Xbox OS, which is just like the Windows 11 like gaming OS that they're totally making. And I was saying I reckon they're going to keep the Xbox separate, and that they'll allow like Steam and Epic integration in the actual like full Windows build, like which would be what we thought would be like a rip-off of Steam OS but with Windows instead. But now it seems like they're actually testing openly Steam and Epic integration on the actual consoles.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
It's wild to me, but I mean, we're at this weird junction with Xbox that we are hoping and expecting to see this summer the first kind of steps towards an Xbox handheld. Their Project Kenan, or Keenan as we call it.
Yeah, Kel.
Their collaboration with Asus and making a Xbox-themed handheld, at least, that will potentially have the first version of the Xbox operating system on it.
Yeah.
And it makes sense that they ready the integration of Steam and Epic into that.
Yes, on the Windows side.
For the Windows side.
Absolutely.
Like they actually have to have that.
Yes.
But then if that operating system is probably going to be the same or very similar to what we see on the Xbox or future Xboxes, well, then it makes sense that we'll just see Steam on the Xbox as well.
Well, it makes sense to assume that, but I think that's a massive shot in the foot for Microsoft, because people are then. This is why I've always said I think Xbox consoles will not allow it because Microsoft is selling Xboxes at a loss to get your money on software, which is locked down onto an Xbox, right? So for the console. So if you open the doors and allow Epic and Steam, where you can buy games for like £1,
I know,
right?
I know.
They're not going to be buying that game on Xbox at full price, are they?
No.
So now Xbox is going to lose out. And even if they buy an Xbox game via Steam, Xbox is still going to lose out from like 30-40% loss.
All I'm going to say
is... So
it
doesn't make any sense to me.
Game Pass.
Yes.
I fully believe that all they really care about for the Xbox platform is Game Pass.
I agree, but there will still be a large amount of sales coming from people directly buying software through their
100%.
Xbox console at
Yeah.
full price.
Yeah.
If you open Epic, give free games every week. Steam discount, like The Witcher 3 is like £2 right now.
Yeah.
Like for Wild Hunt or whatever. So like, I just don't understand as a business point of view. It
Alma
doesn't make
says
sense.
in chat, it's platform suicide.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking. Exactly what I'm thinking.
Howie Morales says, I don't get Steam integration with Xbox as a business strategy.
Exactly, yeah.
Isn't the store the bread and butter? Yeah,
Yes,
where they
yes.
make the money. Yeah, I think so. The other thing I'll say that feels like platform suicide is the Xbox games on PlayStation, because they're losing their cut of the store sale. They're losing 30% of the sale at least.
Yeah.
But the flip side of that is that they're very player friendly and they've sold more games as a consequence.
Yeah, well, I think it makes total sense to sell them to PlayStation.
Yeah.
Because the PlayStation people that are PlayStation only and wouldn't even dare touch an Xbox can now play stuff like Indiana and whatever. And Microsoft is still making money that they wouldn't otherwise make. But putting Steam and Epic on a console, that just doesn't make sense. Like, this is all, remember, like early stages. These rumors are to, if you see anything about this, they're touting for a release in 2027 for the next gen Xbox.
Yes.
Doesn't even mean any of this is happening. It could be misinterpreted that this is literally just the Xbox OS for Windows 11.
I think you're right. I think this is a misinterpreted rumor.
Yeah.
Because the actual next gen Xbox, which is, like say, earmarked for 27, is a replacement of the Series X and a handheld to accompany it instead of a Series S.
Yeah.
That's what it's kind of nailed on is going to happen. This thing that's happening with Asus in the meantime is just in competition to like the ROG Ally and the Steam Deck in that place of the market.
Yeah.
It's not their thing. So I think that what the truth of this is that we'll see Steam and Epic integrated into
the PC side.
The PC
the Windows 11 integration. Yeah. My guy Despero, that's exactly the way I see it. 70% gained from sales they wouldn't have got from PlayStation otherwise. Exactly.
You'd just buy a mini PC at that point.
Yes. Yeah.
Absolutely. Tommy Tycoon says, does anyone in Europe even own Xbox? I do. But exactly like Alistair Rickman, just for Game Pass.
Yes.
It's a Game Pass machine and it's phenomenal for it.
Bought games on the Xbox. The Xbox is my wife's main gaming machine now, so I do sometimes buy her games, but it's 90% Game Pass.
I just want like some kind of indication in the chat to who's played Expedition 33 yet. I can't stop thinking about it.
I was just about to say, you can't stop talking about it.
I know.
It's been about 3 weeks now on the trot.
I've recently completed it. I know I put a post out on the Discord like completing it. I need to get over it, or I need to play it again. I'm not sure what it is.
Wait for the Switch 2 launch.
If it comes to Switch 2, I'm 100% buying it and playing it again.
I'll buy it on Switch 2 if it comes out.
It goes back to the question about Xbox and Game Pass, who even owns Xbox. I do it for Game Pass, and it's for moments like Expedition 33 that I realise I'm getting such an amazing deal.
Yeah, what with the Game Pass? Yeah.
Game Pass.
Game Pass is very, very good, yeah.
It's if you've not played it and you're like, oh, I don't know if I like that kind of turn-based game, just honestly, it's not what you think it is. And I think if you're not playing it, you're missing out, at least in testing, even if you test it and walk away, potentially one of the games of the generation.
Wow.
It's the more time I've spent thinking about it, the more it's sat with me, the more I've realised that I really underestimated it at the start.
And I'd really like at the start when everyone was hyping it.
I was a bit like...
You were messaging me like, bit overrated, isn't it?
Honestly, I'm such a contrarian.
Not very good. And now you're like, I can't stop dreaming about it.
Good. I said it's really good, but there's some real issues. And I'll stand by. There are some performance issues on Xbox. But I did say I don't think it's like one of the best games ever. But
now you're backtracking.
Honestly, I wake up with the soundtrack in my head. It's weird.
I love it. Someone asked, I can't see it on the chat now, but someone said, is it making its way to Switch 2? Oh, it's Jan. The developers basically like hinted that they would love to do a Switch 2 version, but they haven't said anything like concrete. So wait and see.
Well, what makes me concerned with that is what James Wright has just written in chat.
Okay.
Playing Expedition 33 on Series S, but it runs like utter arse.
Yeah, but
that would concern me because we're looking at a similar...
True, but when you're developing for Xbox,
yeah,
Xbox has stood over your shoulder going, don't forget the Series S.
Yes.
And they're going, but we don't care about the Series S. We want to make it really good on the X. And Xbox, Phil Spencer's there breathing down the neck like,
Series
S. Right. And so they're all like worried
Why
about
is
it.
he so creepy?
I don't know. He just is. Yeah. Sorry, Phil Spencer. But with Switch, they'll know this is another jackpot moment where they'll make more money.
Yeah.
Right? More so than Game Pass.
Yeah.
And so they'll be actively developing it to work as good as possible on Switch too.
Anyone's concerned about performance, I just say, look at how good Cyberpunk is doing.
Yes.
Like the early footage from Cyberpunk on Switch 2.
Yes.
I don't know what black magic they've done there, but it's pretty insane.
Yes.
Andrews, I'm trying to get through Final Fantasy VII Remake before I start anything else.
I'm trying to do that with Rebirth. Yeah, I'm like, I don't know, 60, 70%
Andrew,
through Rebirth.
are you playing the first part of Remake as in Chapter 1, or are you talking about Rebirth? I'm kind of curious. Because Remake itself isn't that hard to get through.
Well,
so
if you just steamroll it like
try
I
harder.
did.
No.
Yeah,
No,
it still took me a while to get through Remake, but
yeah, it's like 40 hours.
I'm
it's
like over 50% through Rebirth.
You need to start speeding up.
Yeah, no.
Any thoughts about the Switch 2 operating system reserving 3 out of 12 gigabyte
We
RAM?
did on that last week's
news we talked about that. Yeah,
we did.
It is a lot, obviously.
Yeah, but equally, it's still like 4 times more total RAM than Switch One.
Yeah.
So I think 9 gig for gaming.
Yeah.
Versus what was it, like 2 gig on the Switch One? I think it's like going to be totally fine. That extra 3 gig is going to be for stuff like eShop, which totally needs it.
Needs it.
And all the game streaming stuff. So like game chat and everything, whether or not like developers can opt to like adjust that. I don't think so because it's a system level feature. But it'd be interesting if there was a game that they could like somehow like recoup some of that. But equally, we might find in 6 to 12 months, Nintendo go, you know what, we don't need that much. And they'll change it. They changed it for the Switch One. So
yeah, they did.
There's nothing stopping them doing it for the Switch 2.
There's a common theme here I'm seeing about Rebirth. Andrew hasn't got Rebirth yet. He's still trying to get through Remake. So it's on PlayStation Plus in their catalogue. Nice, that's cool. It's a great game to get as part of your subscription. Phoenix Melt says, I'm in like Chapter 5. I just have not wanted to play it that much. And James says, I felt like Rebirth took me a year to complete.
Tell me about it. I'm like 60 hours in and I just 100%ed Gongaga. And now I'm trying to steamroller through the next bit.
So here's the thing. As if you're new here, I'm a massive Final Fantasy VII fan, like kind of to the point of being obsessed. So obviously Rebirth for me was very exciting. I got it day one, but I steamrolled through the story because I just wanted to see what the story was. But I had some of the same feelings, as in like, oh, and then another chapter opens up as a whole new era, and you breathe in and go, oh, this is big again. I think it's too big. I think the game's too big.
I think it's actually fine if that's the only game you're playing.
Yes.
So, because I was 100%ing everything up to Gongaga.
Well, Alma said it took them 130 hours to 100%.
Yeah. So I'm like 60 hours in, and I've just basically completed like 100%ed all the way up to Gongaga, and now I'm like, I just need to steamroller the story because I want to get it done before Switch 2, which likely won't happen. But we'll see.
It's a phenomenal game. I think. Do you know what? If that game, I'm going to get a little bit of pushback from this. If that game was like a full price game, I'm not going to say 80, but like if it was a full price and you bought it day one and it was like all of that, and it's the only game you're going to be able to buy for the next 6 months, then wicked.
Yeah.
A bit like Final Fantasy VII when it was released.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of how I started playing Rebirth. I was like, I'm not going to play anything else. I'm just going to play this. And after like three weeks, I was like, okay.
I think Temperius is right there because he remembers I was streaming it. I started streaming it and then I stopped.
Well, you only did one stream.
Yeah, and I remember texting. I spoke to you afterwards. I was like, I don't know if I want to stream anymore this game.
I said, don't. You got to enjoy it.
Yeah, because it did. You're right. It was detrimental to my enjoyment. It's a phenomenal game. And they've done amazing things with it, but it is big and it is daunting and a bit tiring at times if you've not got the energy for it. Unlike Expedition 33, which I'm just going to keep bringing everything back to.
I love it.
Yeah, it's well worth it. Right, MSI.
Yes.
Dun, dun, dun.
Got some new handhelds coming in from MSI.
We got some new PC handhelds hitting the markets.
Yep, even though I know the name, can we guess the name? Is it the MSI
Even though you know it, you're going to guess it.
8AZ159 minus
It's going to
exclamation
have
mark.
claw in it.
Okay.
It might have AI in there somewhere, and the number will have no relevance to any other model.
Anything else?
No.
Not the screen size or
Nothing
anything like
at
that.
all, no.
So we got the A5 now, isn't it?
A8.
Oh, okay. So it is the screen size.
size.
Okay, so we got the A8, but the AI's gone.
Wow. It's, where's the AI gone?
That's reserved for the Intel version.
It probably is.
So then there's another version as well. We're only focusing on the A8 because it's got the Z2 Extreme.
Which is the most interesting part of this. We're starting to see Z2 Extremes coming out now.
Yeah.
I wonder if we'll see anything from Asus as well. Obviously, there's the leaks that happened last week and stuff.
Later in the year.
Project Keenan and Kel.
Yes.
So the Claw A8 Ryzen Z2 Extreme. It's kind of a little bit familiar. An 8-inch 120 hertz VRR screen.
Yeah. IPS.
IPS panel. What's that reminiscent of?
The Switch 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the Switch 2 screen's not good enough.
Yeah.
No, OLED or nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, well, there you've got a premium PC handheld releasing with LCD screen.
Yes, but it's VRR.
Because of VRR.
Yeah,
VRR is
needs,
everything.
Especially on a handheld dedicated like this, you need VRR.
Yeah. So 80 watt hour battery. Also 16 by 10 resolution aspect ratio.
Yeah.
As well.
So that 8-inch is actually larger
huge.
than a 7-inch. Larger than an 8-inch at 16 by 9.
Yeah, so the whole device will feel big.
Yeah.
80 watt hour battery. So glad to see that.
Yes. However, obviously, that bigger screen and depending on the peak brightness and stuff might, kill that battery a little bit faster than, say, in comparison to the Ally X.
It's a 500 nit brightness
Is it?
screen. Yeah.
Oh, okay, fine. So it's basically the same as. So essentially, what MSI have done here is just literally taken the Ally X, put in very marginally faster RAM,
yes,
and put an 8-inch screen in it with a Z2. All the other specs are exactly the same.
There's no word on price on this yet, is there?
Oh, no, not yet.
But it's going to be pricey.
Oh, it's going to be pricey. Yeah, don't doubt that. I mean, at minimum 900. I'm thinking 1,000 because of the Z2 chip, because it's hot off the press. But, what I do like about it is the choice of colours. They've got like a hot pink, looks lush. They've got the like Slimer green colour, looks wicked. Though in a video I saw of someone on YouTube, it looked more yellow. But maybe that's dodgy camera settings.
Could be, yeah.
But there's some different colorways. There's a blue one in there, like a teal one.
It's nice that there's different colorways. I'll give them that.
Yeah.
You got 2 USB 4s, 24 gig RAM.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
It's not enough to make me go, wow. None of this made me sit up and really take note. The Z2 Extreme.
That's the hot one.
It's the hot, but it's only marginally.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't.
So we're not into the new RDNA generation yet with this. So
no, I think this is going to be niche. I don't see the point in upgrading from an Ally X.
If you've got an
myself.
Ally X, I wouldn't be looking at this unless you've smashed up the screen or something.
Yeah, if you want an 8-inch, then fine.
Yeah, at 1 terabyte, 2280 drive.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. I'm happy for them to get away from Intel, even though they're sticking with another variant that has Intel.
Yeah,
I think this is cool to get on the AMD hype, but there we go. We'll see when review units come out and stuff.
It's a beastly unit for certain, but if you've already got a PC handheld, even the Gen 1, the Ally, I wouldn't bother.
No.
I'd wait.
You know what I'd do instead?
Buy a Switch 2.
Buy a Switch 2.
That's so weird. I didn't know you'd say that. That's funny.
Yeah, it's funny.
Abdul did ask, where can I pre-order a Switch 2 in the UK?
Currently, my Nintendo store, they've got pre-orders up.
They've got pre-orders up, have they?
Yeah.
Yeah, the retailer's stock's gone, I think. Maybe Curry's?
I don't think Curry's got any. Let's have a quick look.
Phoenix Melt says PC handhelds are niche because it requires a lot of work to play games. Even Steam Deck, which is closer to entry level, requires tinkering. You're bang on right. And that's why the market is only... Was it 6 million units worldwide of all PC handhelds? It is very niche. But if you're willing or you're the kind of person that enjoys tinkering, you get some amazing performance. You get a great experience. I know we've had phenomenal experiences with the Ally X.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's really good. It does require you...
You've got to be on the PC gaming side, really.
So, even for me, I found that a little daunting, to be honest. And I preferred... Well... I was always on the edge of getting the Steam Deck. Even after you got rid of yours, I was still like, I think I might go back and get a Steam Deck. But yeah, now the Switch 2 is here. I don't.
That's the thing is they're very expensive. They're very niche, and you've got to be really into it to want to get one.
Yeah, people want a plug and play experience.
Yeah, Switch 2 is going to be the equivalent of for much cheaper, and you're going to be able to buy games and they just work.
Howie Morera says, I love PC, started playing in the 90s, but I can't be bothered with Windows handheld.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Only handheld I may buy is the Switch 2 or the Steam Deck.
2, yeah, fair enough, yeah.
What's after... Been watching your guys' stuff for a while to keep track on any news and Nintendo related while I wait for the Switch to release.
Yay!
Having your guys' chemistry when it comes to the podcast and conversations.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
We are getting onto Switch news
Gyrocopter
very soon. It's actually the next stories on. We're then going into Switch, aren't we?
Everything after this point is Switch land. So
and I'm going to bring up one straight away now because AJ removed it from the news doc because. Basically, what we do is throughout the week, we both enter like a document and we just drop stuff that we think is newsworthy. And then we trim it because, these chats go on for long times.
They do go on for it.
And AJ said, let's trim this. And I went, okay. But I'm going to bring it up anyway.
Okay.
So a few days ago, we saw some extra footage from CD Projekt Red of Cyberpunk on the Switch 2. And the performance looks ridiculous.
Cyberpunk on Nintendo Switch 2 in quality mode.
Yes.
A, looks insane.
Yeah, it looks really good.
B, it's so amazing I'm spitting over it. And the second point, it runs at like almost a permanently locked 30 FPS.
Yes. Yeah.
I was watching it like this has got to be like I don't know, like the Xbox build or something. I don't want to get too over the top and go like it's PS5 levels, but
yeah, it's PS5 Pro.
It kind of felt like it.
Yeah, it is. It's amazing what they've done. Those early talks of it only being like 7 weeks build or something before
rubbish
the event. They came out and said that's a load of rubbish. We've been working on it for ages.
Yeah.
So I don't know where they got that from.
Well, the first rumours were like around the time that we went and got hands on.
Yeah.
Was that it was a Steam Deck build that they'd spent 7 weeks on.
Yeah.
And what's come to light afterwards, the CD Projekt Red have said, firstly, there is no specific Steam Deck build.
Yeah.
And secondly, the 7 weeks thing is rubbish. We've been working on it for years.
Yeah, for ages. Yeah.
And it's really clear. The first giveaway you should have for how long they've been working on it is the install size is 55 gigabytes, I believe it was.
59 or something.
It's under 60.
Under 60. Well, it's on the cart, isn't it?
Which means they can fit the whole game on a cart.
On a 64 gig cart, yeah.
Which is a huge advantage. A, for you collectors that love physical carts, and I get it.
Yeah.
B, it means you don't have to install it onto the 256 internal storage.
Yeah.
And C, potentially it will run better off the cart than on the internal storage.
Yeah, maybe.
We don't know what the read speeds are yet,
no.
but potentially it will even be better. But that should be the biggest giveaway that this is a really well optimized game for Switch too. It's how small they've managed to make it. It's like half the size of the Xbox install.
And they're pulling all the strings here. They got DLSS going.
Yeah.
Like they've made a specific build like for the Switch 2.
Yeah.
So it's really going to be pushing it. And this is a launch title. This is like Skyrim for Switch 1.
Yeah.
The equivalent of, So Cyberpunk on Switch 2. So potentially we'll see even better performing games when devs have even longer to like work on them.
Do we know what level of DLSS they're using? It looks awesome.
It does look awesome. No, we don't know what.
What did I see there? Something about Series S. Oh, Joe Morera's. The build seems to be from the Series S because of some of the wording in the menus.
Okay, yeah.
And as James pointed out, and this is at launch.
Exactly where I was going with it a second ago. Yeah.
Mind blowing.
Yeah, day one. This isn't. Because there's quite a lot of games that they showed that aren't coming until like later in the year.
Yeah.
Star Wars Outlaws is not coming until like September or November or whenever it is. Even like Donkey Kong, it's not until July.
Yeah. Metroid.
Like, Metroid was
no date yet.
Undated. So like for them to be like, Cyberpunk day one, it's like, oh, okay, wow, they're ready. Like this has been ready for a while for them to ramp up full production of physicals and stuff.
Yeah, so it's been finished a long time ago because they've got to obviously print the cartridges.
But they weren't showing the finished builds at the events that we went to.
No,
because
it
it
wasn't.
specifically had above
In development, didn't it?
this is the development like demo or whatever.
Yeah. I'd be impressed if they released a 60 FPS
Well,
patch later on.
there's a 40 FPS mode.
Yes.
And
I was just gonna say that.
honestly, people like don't realize the difference between 30 and 40.
It's a big step.
40 is a massive step up.
Yep.
And especially with a 120 hertz screen, 40 divides into that perfectly.
Yeah.
You know? So I know 30 does as well. Like 30 is like times 4 or whatever, but it's a perfect thing for 120 hertz monitor. The only thing is there might be like tuned down graphics. That's what I want to see, the difference between quality and performance mode, because there's only two modes here. Got 30 FPS quality or a 40 performance. I want to see how like the visual, I reckon it could be exactly the same. It's just a resolution decrease, you know? So like it's outputting like a lower resolution, but who knows? We'll see.
Yeah. And maybe what the artifacting's like on the upscaling.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
that super, whatever they call it.
We will see. Is the 40 FPS mode in handheld? Well, yeah. It'll be in both.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you'll be able to choose from quality or performance.
Someone did ask, was the it's Schwing? Is the Cyberpunk footage from docked or
Schwing.
handheld mode? I believe it's docked.
It'll be docked. 100% it'll be docked. Yeah, it's too clean for handheld
Well,
mode,
the capture, the giveaway I always think is, firstly, any footage you see on any Nintendo released marketing has to be captured on that device. It's a very strict rule Nintendo have.
Yeah, there's no cheating.
The second thing that's a giveaway on it is if it's docked, you'll see it full screen.
Yes.
And if it's handheld, they'll show you it in a fake handheld, like a rendered handheld, to kind of show you which way it is.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
And it's like very strict rules Nintendo have on basically not trying to false advertise, I guess.
Yeah, but that's good. I like that. I like that. I think it's cool.
How do you feel about the new EULA changes, end user license agreement changes? We covered it last week.
Yeah, I was going to say we did a whole. Was
a whole video.
Podcast?
It's a whole dedicated video, wasn't it?
Yeah, we did. Check that out. It's on the channel.
Yeah, long and short of it is people are overreacting a bit. Is the thing.
Yeah.
So once you actually read into it and start looking at it,
we deep dive it hard. But basically, as long as you're not poking around and like hardwiring stuff like AJ's done with the Xbox back there.
Don't tell that Microsoft are going to come here.
That's what Phil Spencer's going to be breathing down your neck. Like,
yeah. It's basically all in reference to piracy.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is a nothing burger.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The DLSS will go crazy. Is 120 hertz going to be in handheld?
Yeah, the handheld screen supports 120 hertz. It doesn't mean that it's going to run 120 FPS.
No.
That's just the maximum refresh of the screen. Some games will. So there'll be some games that will actually utilize that.
Welcome Party?
Welcome Tour, yeah. That'll probably hit 120 FPS. But yeah, it will be 30 or 40 FPS in Cyberpunk, either handheld or docked. You'll have the choice.
The optimization is the big thing, and that's what's really exciting. And as people are pointing out in chat, this is day one, so as we progress, it's going to get like, you're going to patch these games, you're going to have updates for them, any bugs that come up. It's just going to get better and better. And as more and more developers figure out how to perfectly optimize for it, to take advantage of DLSS properly for Nintendo, like the future is
wild.
This
is quite an interesting one. My guide Espo says, how do you think Witcher 3 looks and plays on Nintendo Switch 2? Well, right now there's no patch for it.
Yeah, no build for
but I'm really intrigued to see if just having the raw power performance does anything to unpatched Switch 1 games. So like if you could just raw dog like power through to get like a more stable
it's the
frame
one
time.
Thing Nintendo have not talked about.
They've not said anything like put your old unpatched game in and still get a boost. I would assume you will. Like just even if it's just frame times. So like the frame rate cap will be the same, but it will have a smoother frame time.
Yeah.
So the game will be better. But the other thing I'm wondering is I wonder if certain Switch 1 games will get patched to run at docked mode settings in handheld. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So for a Switch 1 game that would only flip to 1080p when it's docked, I wonder if they can flip that switch whilst in handheld mode on the Switch 2 because of that massive performance increase, because that will scale so much better and run better. Yeah. It'll unlock the performance of the chip better. So, I mean, who knows? We don't know yet.
I think it's one of the things we want to test when we get it is like what do Switch 1 games actually run like, and can we figure out, maybe I'll figure out some of those janky like frame reading software things. I don't know if I want to go that in detail.
I don't know. Like, I'd be up for tinkering it, but we'll see. Yasa says, "Can I control the frame rates like Steam Deck?" No, but you will have performance options like, say, an Xbox or a PlayStation.
It's going to be very console-like, less PC-like.
Like performance mode or quality mode.
And we've got to bear in mind that they were talking about Nintendo, and for Nintendo, that's a massive leap.
I was not expecting it. I mean, if we take a look at Fast Fusion, which is day one title, looks amazing. It's very cheap.
Yeah.
Like a Gravity Racer, looks wicked. That's got like 4 quality modes.
Yeah.
There's like all these different performance modes.
That's probably too much.
It is too much, yeah.
Will 40 FPS work if I have a 60 hertz TV docked?
Yes.
Yeah,
it will, yeah. Absolutely will,
yeah. Unfortunately, there is no VRR output if you had a VRR enabled TV.
Yeah, true. However, with VRR, generally, let's just take you've got a 120 hertz screen. Generally, VRR is not, is the bracketed window for VRR is normally between like 48 and 120 hertz. Below that needs low frame rate compensation.
Jan says CD Projekt might just drop a patch for The Witcher.
Yeah.
I think once Cyberpunk's done, I think it's the open season for them.
They were asked this in an interview, and they said, "We're really looking forward to more questions about Cyberpunk on Switch 2. They just completely poo-pooed it. They were like, we're not talking about that right now.
Yeah.
So, it might be. Maybe they are.
Bayonetta 3.
Oh, Bayonetta 3 needs a patch.
Needs a patch.
That needs a patch.
I forgot about that game,
Oh, I haven't. I've got the collector's edition.
I know you do, yeah.
Yeah.
I always look at it like it's in the corner of your room.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. I forgot about that. Thanks for bringing that one up.
Yes.
Wait, when did you guys get 100k subs? It was Tuesday.
Yes. Tuesday, yes.
And we did a little celebration.
We did.
It's happened all of a sudden, and we're kind of a bit mind blown by it still.
Yes. Still insane.
So thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, kindly.
You guys are included as well, but not you. You know what you've done. All right, okay. I'm going to move the stories along a little bit. I think my favourite franchise, and I would say it might be yours as well.
Oh, okay. Is it something to do with someone called Samus?
It is something to do with Samus.
Yes.
This week we have seen Nintendo renew 2 Metroid trademarks for 2 specific Metroid games.
One real random one.
One really random one that's a total curveball that I actually only realised this morning when you told me how weird that is.
Yeah.
And the other one that is kind of a long time coming.
Yes.
So we've seen them renew the trademarks for Metroid Prime 3 Corruption.
Yes, which is the Wii title.
Yeah. And Metroid Prime Hunters.
Yes.
Which is a DS title?
Nintendo DS. They sent everyone that bought the original DS a Hunters cartridge, which only had a demo on it, like the first level. And then you had to go out and buy the full one if you wanted. I've still got
this generation, they don't even sell games with cartridges.
Yeah.
That one, they're giving them away.
But Hunters is funny because I don't want to go into spoilers, so I'm not going to say anything, actually.
Oh, okay.
I was going to say something about Prime 4, which is coming out.
Yes.
Basically, the main baddie from Prime 4 first appears in Prime Hunters. So maybe that's why. Maybe it's something to do with the link there.
I'm going to say, and this is a totally unrelated, and I'm grasping at straws. When the Final Fantasy VII, get everything comes back to Final Fantasy VII. When they were doing the remake in the remake trilogy, they purposely re-released an old game in chronology to help the story make more sense.
Yes. Oh, like Crisis Core.
Crisis Core.
Yes.
So yeah, they did the remake, and then they released Crisis Core, or they re-released it. And on face value, it was so random. Like, why
have they done this? Yeah.
But because of how the story was and how they'd rewritten the story, you kind of had to, if you were going to understand it, play Crisis Core in between.
Yeah.
So they put it in the space in between.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a bit of that happening here.
Possibly. Yeah, maybe. I mean, tomatoes, just quickly, he says about, I think the trademarks are renewed for GameCube and DS. Well,
yeah.
Prime 3 wasn't on GameCube. It was on Wii.
I think you're 50% right.
And DS emulation, possibly, maybe. Like, I don't know if they'll do that. Like, I really don't know, because it would have to be a split screen thing, so that you've got like the top screen on the left hand side and the bottom screen on the right hand side. It would totally work, but I don't know if they'll do that.
When Metroid Prime Remastered was released, and someone put in chat, it's Jan. Metroid Prime Remastered is my Nintendo Switch 2 first game for my backlog.
Yes.
100%. I've not played it yet either. I've only played your version of it.
Yes.
I've not actually played through it.
Yes.
And it's epic. But when that was released, all the talk, and I was certain it was the official story, was that we were going to get the first three, the trilogy remastered.
Yes, that was the official like leak or whatever.
Yeah.
The rumor was that it was meant to be all three. Then it changed to, no, they're just doing Prime 1 remastered and the other two are just being touched up, which makes it sound like Prime 2, which is a GameCube game, will be seen on the GameCube online,
That
the
makes
expansion
sense.
pack. But
Yeah.
then Prime 3 is a Wii game. So, like, would they really do one remaster, two on GameCube emulation, and then remaster the third one as a standalone title?
I think it's possible.
Maybe. I don't know.
I always think with these stories, like, what's the most simple explanation
Yeah.
for all of these things? So you take them individually. We've got the Prime 1 remaster.
Yeah.
2, GameCube. We've got the GameCube for the Switch Online. It'd be easier for them to touch it up and like give it a 1440p output or whatever for GameCube. Remaster 3 would be amazing because they don't have any Wii emulation on Switch Online yet, do they?
Yeah.
And Prime Hunters could just be grasping at straws.
I mean, they could totally release Prime 2 on the GameCube and then wait like 3-4 years and then put Prime 3 out if they release Wii Online as like the next thing or something. Who knows? Who knows?
How about this from... I don't know how to say your name. Rocketeers. Rocketeers. Re-Rocketeers. Nintendo patented a second screen add-on for the Switch. Could this be the reason why they added a second USB-C?
Maybe. Did they actually? Because I don't remember seeing that.
I don't remember seeing the patent, but there is definitely a second USB-C.
There is a second USB-C.
How about that?
Yeah,
just
like
for DS.
Can I use this as the second screen?
Well, technically, I guess you'd be able to use anything, wouldn't you?
Yeah, maybe.
Dream Profit with the super chat.
Oh, wow,
Let's
thank
just
you.
get to this. What if Switch 2 uses the screen? Oh, genius.
Yes.
Screen streaming tech used by GameShare to play DS games with Switch 1 as a second screen.
Yeah, well, the only thing, because this was actually like a loosely discussed rumor like a few months ago about, before they even announced Game Chat, was saying what if you could share the image onto your TV and then like basically do a Wii U.
I remember that.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
The only reason why I would say no is because then that locks it to people that own both.
Yeah.
And they're not going to do that.
Yeah.
Like, I really don't think they're going to do that, because that kind of shoots a lot of people in the foot. You know, a lot of people will have sold their Switch 1s or whatever, you know, in prep for Switch 2. I'd love it. I would love that, but I just don't know.
I saw the comment earlier about Bayonetta 3. James Wright also put a comment in earlier about Astral Chain.
Oh, what a game.
It's like, what other games do we need to see Switch 2 patches of?
I'm not saying, because that's on our list of ideas to make videos on.
Do you know what? As I thought, I was like, that'd be a really good video to make.
It's already on our list.
Whoopsie!
Yeah, I've already got a list going of Switch 1 games I want updated.
I'm good at this running a channel thing.
It's fine.
Could save you buying a new phone. I think there's a possibility or a plausibility that they're going to incorporate your phone more into things.
Maybe.
Not as a necessity.
I was going to say not for the gaming side.
No, not for the gaming thing, but like we've seen with the Zelda companion app.
Yes.
I think we're going to see way more of
I
that.
want more of that. I'm kind of upset that that's called the Zelda companion app, like, because it's just for that game.
Yep.
I wish it was the Switch 2 companion app, and then they could like make it for other games.
I thought they were working on an Astral Train sequel.
Oh.
Says King Sora 490.
Wow.
And Treble Champ says, this is interesting because we talked about this morning, Andy. I just installed Steam OS on my Ally X.
More controls? Do you mean no control?
More controls. I don't know what the more controls
I don't
part
know.
is. But for those who don't know, they released the stable release of SteamOS this morning, wasn't it?
Yeah, which
Last
is
night?
not stable.
No.
It's only for the Lenovo Legion Go S
Yes.
and Steam Deck. That's it.
They called it the stable release of that patch, of that
It's
version.
because what they call as like a verified patch is what they call stable. So it was a bit of a miscommunication because they said you can use this on your handhelds, and if you click on it and read the terms and conditions, it says this will only work on officially SteamOS products like the Lenovo Legion Go S and the Steam Deck. And if you like read into it, it says other handhelds, use at your own risk, basically.
Yes.
Which is why we weren't talking about it and why I am not installing it yet until they come out and say like verified for Asus ROG Ally. I'm not bothering. So
sadly, Treble Champ's saying no controls.
Yeah.
The controls not working.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's going to possibly be the case.
Do you know? I know I spoke about it. It might have been in last week's news video or one of the videos we did. Was that I worry about the SteamOS rollout in general. I think it might be a bit of a death nail. For,
we touched on this at some point, didn't we? Yeah,
I worry, just because
the variance in hardware.
Yeah, too much variance, and the reason the Steam Deck's so successful is because it's such stable, locked hardware, like the Switch.
Yeah.
So I worry about it. Treble, the only thing I would suggest is uninstall it. Go back to Windows for a minute.
Yeah, go back to Windows.
Just for a minute.
We're not there yet.
Or Bazite, if you're into the Linux kind of thing.
I'm gonna be staying Windows, and then once the like actual stable SteamOS comes out, then I'll give it a go.
Yeah, absolutely. Welcome to Nintendo ownership. It's a bank account spiral.
Yeah, indeed.
It really, really is. Yeah, it's already quite expensive.
Very. Yeah.
I want to say, I think, how many games have I already ordered, Andy?
I don't know.
Too many.
Yes.
Too many, and it wasn't meant to be the way. I thought, you know what? I'll just get Mario Kart World. I'll enjoy that for a little bit. Then on to the next one. And then I started seeing the pre-orders going out for games the cheaper, like Cyberpunk was on offer.
Yes, I was like, I've just bought this. You should buy it too.
Knowing you is awful.
I'm like, look at this deal. Maybe you should buy it too. Oh, just bought this one. There you go.
Thanks. Yeah,
I'll do a video of my Switch 2 haul.
I might do one as well.
I've not gone too mental, but I've
Are
definitely
you
gone.
joking? Okay, I just want to say
No, I'm not going for it. I'm not going for it.
Micro SD Express card.
Yeah.
Pro controller.
Yeah.
GameCube controller. That's the hardware that I've bought.
And then
on
several
top of the Switch
games.
2. Mario Kart came with it.
Yeah.
But it did mean it was. So you got Mario Kart.
Yeah.
Star Wars Outlaws.
Yeah, that didn't come out until later this year.
Cyberpunk.
Yes.
And I also bought Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, Switch
Tears
games.
of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
Hogwarts. And a couple of other Switch games.
Yeah.
I think that's all I've all pre-ordered so far.
Yeah. You need to get more.
So what I was going to do, I was holding off selling my PS5
Wow.
because I was like, I never play it anymore. But do you know what? I'm holding on to it. Maybe Naughty Dog will actually release something good at some point. And I don't know. There's very few reasons to hold on to it
Yeah.
if you've got multiple consoles.
Yeah.
So just holding on to it. And do you know what? I'm gonna have to sell
Yes,
it
do it.
because there's more Switch 2 stuff I want.
Yeah.
So PS5's going.
Yes.
It'll be the end of the PlayStation journey. And do you know what? I
Wow.
don't know if I'll go back.
That's insane.
And, long-time viewers will know that PlayStation's been the thing for me forever.
I know, yeah.
I don't think I'll go back.
It's mad, isn't it?
James said I got Bravely Default so cheap. Oh,
I like this one from SDR.
Don't tell me it's
JP.
cheap because I'll buy it.
I reckon you two certainly sold a lot of Pro 2 controllers.
It'd be awesome if they gave us a cut. wouldn't
Yeah.
it? We're past the justification stage. Acceptance, my friend. And
That's
Tapira says,
Alma knows what's up.
I'm a traitor. Nintendo and PC is really all you need. Yeah. I mean, for me, it's Xbox and Nintendo.
Yeah,
and Xbox is purely for Game Pass.
Yeah.
It's a Game Pass machine.
See, for PC, I can play like Stellar Blade and all the PlayStation games.
That's true.
God of War.
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
Do you ever do that? Oh, Spider-Man. Okay.
I've got all of them. I'm going to buy Stellar Blade when it comes out, if that, which is annoying because it's a week after the Switch.
You know it's going to be launched on Switch 2.
It'd be amazing if they did.
Are you like, honestly, think about it.
Yeah.
The style of game.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they're going to do that. But it'd be cool if they did.
All right, predictions in chat. Will we see Stellar Blade on Switch 2?
Booby Blade on the Nintendo Switch 2.
I just think it's made for it, man.
I'll buy it twice. On PC and on Switch 2.
Okay, I'm going to move along.
Yes, what's the next thing? I've shut the news chat now. I'm just looking at video chat.
Just the chat.
Yeah, live chat.
Just stay with the chat. It's fine.
That's where I'm at.
He'll go back when the new PSP comes out, Jay says. You're right. If there was an actual PlayStation
He almost
Portal.
bought a PlayStation Portal.
Well, I've been thinking about the Portal a lot because maybe it's a way of holding on to a little bit of PlayStation in my life.
You've got enough PlayStation in your life behind you.
And if I sell my PlayStation 5, do I sell the PS5 games or keep them?
Might as well just stick them on the shelf, wouldn't you? They'll only give you like 10 pence for them.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. All right. Excuse me. Back to Nintendo.
Yes.
And the key cart debacle continues. Key carts.
Yeah.
So for those of you who don't know, who've been sleeping under a rock, this is their solution to the code in a box problem we had last generation, which I think is a really smart move.
What's up, Bishy?
On Facebook. Hello, Bishy. For those who don't know, Bishy has been like on the channel since day dot.
For a long time. When I was streaming Nintendo games.
When you were streaming Astral Chain.
Chain, Bayonetta, stuff like that.
Anyway. Yeah, I think the keycard thing is a lovely solution to the code in the box. It's still really imperfect, though, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
And the fact that the Switch 2 has very limited internal storage at 256, having to download and install the game and have it on your internal storage is a potential problem in Switch 2. And so Nintendo have come out and they kind of addressed this, talking about their first-party titles, so the developments that they can control. And they've confirmed that every first-party Nintendo game will have a physical edition.
Yeah.
And Nintendo confirm no keycards. They've got no plans to use keycards for the first-party development titles.
So all the Nintendo games are actually on the cartridge.
On the cartridge or eShop. None of this just in between this. I think that's important. It's Nintendo recognizing the collectors, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nintendo recognizing where they're from.
Well, and keeping game stores alive in other countries, not in the UK because there is none, but in other countries,
we're done. Yeah, I have no issues with them. No different than downloading from disc. Yeah, and I think we've talked about this so much about physical versus digital. Like
especially
so
on
many
PlayStation and Xbox.
Yeah, so not all of them, but a lot of physical games you're downloading anyway. But I think it's important that Nintendo are different. Nintendo have collectors.
Yeah. Nintendo stuff always holds its value.
Yeah.
You want it on the cartridge, really. So I said all the way leading up to Switch 2, I said, I'm going all digital this time. I'm doing it. And then with the arrival of the game key card things, I was like, might as well just go all digital anyway. And now I've ordered loads of physical games.
Because they're cheaper.
So, yeah, because of the price. Literally, that's the only reason.
Doug Bowser, so going from like Nintendo of Japan saying that all first-party developments will be won't be key carts. They'll either be eShop or physical, and there will always be a physical version available. Doug Bowser from obviously Nintendo America also kind of leaning into this and saying that physical is important to us.
Yeah.
All right. Hold on to your seats because it's not that great. It's important to us. And I know he's got the name of a Nintendo villain.
Yes, he does.
But he doesn't have to be one all the time. In the immediate future, this is a quote from Doug Bowser.
Yeah,
in the immediate future, physical games are still a key part of our business. And we value our relationship in particular with our retailers and to make sure that we have products available for them to sell. When you look at game key cards for us, our goal with Switch 2, similar to what we were able to accomplish with Nintendo Switch, is to have the broadest and deepest library of content we possibly can. It's such a politician's answer. And that includes our publishing partners. And game key cards are a way that our publishing partners are able to bring more content to the platform, deeper and larger and more immersive content. Ugh. So what that's saying, in my mind, is for now you're safe, physical games, but we don't intend to do it forever.
Yeah. Yeah, well, there's going to be a point where it does go all digital. Do you know what I mean? We're slowly creeping over. Everything's just going to turn into like PC, where it's just all digital. PC's been there for 15 plus years.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and we've been fine with it.
Yeah.
And, you know, PC adapted. I think Steam library works incredibly well as a good example.
Mm.
And every time we bring this up, I'll always go back to that moment where, were we on your Steam Deck?
Yeah.
And you downloaded Half-Life 2
Yeah, it was
again?
the Steam Deck LCD when it first, just shortly come out.
And there was your save files from like when it first...
From Half-Life 2 in the
Half-Life 2.
early 2000s, yeah.
It's like, oh, my save file's still there.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, so if you're worried about like preservation of your game and ownership and all those concerns, like the Steam library shows us how it should be done.
Yeah, if it's managed correctly.
Unfortunately, the consoles don't have a great history with that. Nintendo in particular, switching stuff off.
Yes.
They're not great for it.
No, but they have said like going forward, they realise that like the Nintendo account is the way forward.
Yeah.
So like they'll actually get it right this time, hopefully.
So saying in the immediate future, physical games are still important to us. If you're a physical collector, I think in truth, you're just going to have to get used to saying goodbye to physical.
Yeah.
Just do it, edge yourself in slowly. I think in truth, that's what we've been doing.
Yeah.
It's like slowly getting used to the idea of digital only. Game passes are help for that. But buying the odd physical game, buying the odd digital one, just getting used to it.
Yeah.
If you're not. The other thing is saying that it enables our partners to release bigger games, basically.
Yeah.
That's hinting at the actual problem. It's that these cards are expensive to produce.
Yeah.
These games... Split Fiction is 77 gigabytes.
Something like that. Yeah, it's very, very large.
The Switch 2 version.
Yeah.
So it's too big for the standard 64 gig carts that are there.
So it bumps up to the 128 cart, which will be double the price.
And as you know, anything 128 is expensive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So having the key cart version enables publishers to release games on Switch cheaper.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's what he's getting at there.
Yeah, absolutely. And for smaller titles and indie teams, that's a win-win, you know.
Yeah.
Shout out to Timperius for sending a sub, and congrats Tom Tycoon. I can't speak. Tom Tycoon to receiving said gifted membership by Timperius.
Yes. I chose to go all digital starting with the Switch in 2017. Tom Tycoon.
Yeah, wow.
And Captain Chats is here, member of the channel.
Yeah.
Captain Chats. You
What's
lovely
up?
man. I'm going to buy whatever is cheaper, Alistair Rickman. Oh, yes.
That's exactly where we go.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why I've started buying physicals already on the Switch 2 is because I just found them so much cheaper.
Yeah.
Like, so I was just like, okay, I'll just buy what I can.
You lads like a pub on a Friday. Do we like it or are we like it?
Or are we in a pub right now because of the barrel?
Do you know what? I'm not a big drinker. I know you're not a big drinker either. But when it's sunny,
Yeah.
like-
Yeah.
just a cold little cheeky little drink.
That's it, yeah.
Not like I'm not going to get on it, but just like one drink, and I'm like, yeah,
okay,
that's lovely. Yeah. Secondhand physical is usually way cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
It depends. Here in the UK, the second-hand physicals hold their own, like with the prices of Nintendo games specifically.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
If you're looking for a bargain, I'll keep saying, for the Switch 2 enhanced versions of games, just buy the Switch 1 and look for the upgrades.
Yeah. Make sure you're checking prices though first.
Yeah. And prices are I'm going to bet money. Prices on certain Switch 1 games are going to peak a little bit now.
Yeah, absolutely. They are. Yeah.
When everyone kind of cottons onto it. I'm not looking forward to all digital, all the game key cards, but I am only buying a Switch 2 primary for first party games.
Yeah,
well, in
fair
that
enough.
case, beam me a bump 80. You won't actually have to worry because all the first party games are going to be available. So kind of rest assured with that one. Captain Chat says, I'm in the gym now, making me want to go to the pub.
Oh,
Fair.
that's amazing.
I think that would be the dream scenario, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
A gym pub.
A gym pub. Oh, what? So you could be eating like steak and chips whilst working out?
Yeah.
I'm all there for that.
I want a future where you could do that.
I'm all there for that.
Yeah.
I'd rather be in the gym than the pub, I will be honest.
Oh, I think Alistair Rickman has just unlocked a cheat code. Vinted in the UK for Switch games is super cheap.
Wow. I didn't even think about that.
Is Vinted that place where people sell clothes?
Yeah, all the stolen stuff.
Stolen? It's because they're all stolen.
That's why it's so cheap.
Yes.
I am joking, by the way. Equally, they might be stolen. Who knows?
Sometime in the future. Back in my days, Lend Me My Buddy My Game didn't require a subscription. Yeah, that is true, Bishy. Although, Nintendo Game Share.
Yes.
I
Game
think-
Share is free until March next year, and then you have to pay.
And Dream Profit has just talked about something you talked about earlier with me this morning when we
What
were
was that?
chatting about Fast Fusion.
Yes.
Just saw Fast Fusion has
Yes.
8K shadow textures on ultra quality mode.
Yes.
kind
Yeah,
of
we
mind-blowing.
were discussing this off camera. Were we?
Alistair Rickman got Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom for 25 quid each.
Wow.
Sorry, I'm jumping around. I paid a lot more than that for them. That's kind of
You
annoyed
did,
me.
yeah. I'm
Wow,
sorry,
5 quid
I
more
ripped
than
you off.
that. Yeah. 8K textures in Fast Fusion,
Yes.
though. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that game's going to be low-key amazing.
Yeah, it's nuts. I mean, obviously, the Switch can only output 4K.
Yeah.
But 8K downsampled textures are going to look crispy, but that's in the 30 FPS quality mode, yeah. I'm totally buying Fast Fusion at launch, for sure.
Sleeper launch hit, as Joe Morera says. Yeah, absolutely.
Whoever was asking about the OLED earlier, by the way, we are going to get to that.
Literally now, actually.
Yeah.
It's great timing. So it is the headline. You've seen it, but, you know, I haven't got to it yet. And we are, over an hour in.
Are we actually?
I know.
Wow.
When did that happen?
I don't know why I'm looking around. I can't even see.
Right, so we did one of our reaction videos to the Switch hands-on event was talking about how amazing the screen is, the LCD screen. And the
Yes.
biggest pushback I've ever seen from non-Nintendo buyers was it's going to be OLED in 2 years' time. No point buying it. If it's not OLED, I'm not interested.
Yeah.
It's all about...
The number one reply was, it's not OLED because they want to charge you more for OLED in 2 years' time.
Yeah. Which I just disagree with entirely.
Yes.
For the numerous reasons we talked about. Primary of those is that whatever LCD they're using in this one, it looks really good.
It's very good. Like, it's
Yeah.
a high-quality IPS panel.
Like, really nice.
Yeah.
Second, VRR.
Yeah.
Until they figure out how to fix VRR flicker,
Yes.
I don't think we're going to see a switch to OLED because of the performance requirements.
Yes, yeah. And the thing is the Switch 1 lasted 8 years, right?
Yeah.
And if in 4 years' time they can fix OLED VRR flicker, then absolutely.
Go
you know,
for it.
and we'll be all over that singing hallelujah. But most people don't understand.
And the funny thing is, they're damned if they do and damned if they don't.
Yes, yeah.
If they do it and in 4 years' time it's cheap enough and the technology's there and they release it, everyone will, you know, us fans will celebrate, but everyone will point at it and go, told you, they're
Yeah.
just money grabbing.
Yeah.
If they don't, they go, we'll just wait for the Switch 3.
Yes.
Everyone will go, Switch 2, so out of date,
Yeah.
doesn't even have an OLED screen still.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
they can't win
Well-
from the critics' perspective.
And you got to remember, Sony did it backwards as well. The PlayStation Vita launched with an OLED screen,
Yeah.
and then the PlayStation Vita like revision went to LCD.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think I just don't see it happening. I
So-
really don't see it happening because the price will be high,
Very.
and equally, I don't think they won't change the spec. Just like what happened with the Switch 1 and the Switch OLED, nothing changed other than a redesigned chassis material, the stand, and then the fact that it had an OLED screen, which was slightly larger.
King Sora, should I wait for the OLED model or just get the one that's coming out in
Just
2
get
weeks?
the one that's coming out.
Get the one that's coming out in 2 weeks because there is no confirmation on this. This is a story that's come out from Samsung. So even if it's true, it's 2-3 years at very least.
And you've got to think as well, if you actually like look into this report, basically what happened is Nintendo were using a different chip manufacturer, like a really big chip manufacturer, like one of the leading ones, to make chips for the Switch 2. Samsung came in and went, we can make more faster.
Yes.
So Nintendo have gone, okay, we're selling out here, like left, right, and center. We need more systems. So it looks like they're going with Samsung because they've promised 20 million units by March
2026.
And
so that's really important.
Yeah.
Samsung have said they can produce 20 million by March next year, which means in 9 months they predict the Switch to sell that amount.
Yeah, well, to make sure they've got enough for that selling. Yeah.
20 million
Yeah, that's
in 9
insane.
months.
But in that time frame, during that, there was the talks from Samsung were, because Samsung are one of the leading panel manufacturers.
It's amazing.
There's only like 3 panel manufacturers in the world.
Yeah.
There's like LG, Samsung, and whoever else it is. And everyone else is basically all the like B grade and lower resells.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Like Philips TVs are just LG
They're
panels.
just LG panels,
like
yeah.
stuff like that, right? So Samsung have gone, yeah, Nintendo, come to us, but maybe like release like an OLED version in a couple of years, because we'll give you the screens if you give us the money, right? That's what they're going at. But we'll just have to wait and see, because Nintendo will be smart enough to know about VRR flicker.
100%. Yeah, they would have made an educated choice on this.
Yes.
Because they could have easily just used the same OLED panel that they were using in Switch 1 and not had VRR if the end result was better.
Yeah.
They want the most consistently good result. That's what Nintendo always aim for.
Yes.
Consistency.
Stable.
Stable.
Yeah.
So this story is more on the side of the manufacturer Samsung is putting pressure on Nintendo to actually go the OLED route.
Yeah.
Because they believe that they can service it and sell a lot of OLED panels.
This isn't Nintendo saying we want OLED panels. This is Samsung saying, look, we'll make your chips for you, but maybe consider getting OLED panels from us, because that's what they'll make more money from.
Like Jan says, Switch Lite next, in my honest
Probably,
opinion.
yeah.
I think it's way more likely we'll see a Switch 2 Lite, a handheld only version like the Switch Lite, before we see an OLED.
Yeah, I reckon that's probably right.
Probably a year or two away until that as well. Don't panic if you're on the fence or if you think OLED is going to be the only way it looks good. This one looks amazing.
It's so good. When we got hands on, the first thing we did was holding it at like random like angles and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's great. I'm a big OLED advocate. You know, my tablet here is OLED. That I'm like reading your chats off and stuff. I really love OLED. I've got an OLED TV and a monitor and stuff. But when we got hands on with the Switch 2, I was all for it. And playing on the Asus ROG Ally X, that VRR really helps when you've got like a low-powered APU, the chip inside running it. You need to be able to have that fluctuation in FPS accounted for with variable refresh rate. So specifically in handheld mode, the VRR is going to make the Switch 2 feel very smooth.
Yes.
Like the frame rate, doesn't matter if the frame rate's going from like 40 to 100 and it's all over the place. And if it was on a locked refresh rate panel, would be very choppy looking.
Yeah.
With VRR, I was going to say that. With VRR, it smooths it out so it feels like the frame rate's not flying around at all. So, you know, it's going to be great. It really is.
Click boom. I just want to give you a round of applause for probably the best subtle joke in the world. Quoting me, Nintendo wants the best results. ... Pokemon.
Yeah, but Pokemon is a separate thing. If you look at any Nintendo game, like an actual Nintendo game, they're all excellent.
I would just say
Pokemon games are all
you got like Scarlet Violet
tanking. Yeah.
If you put like a screenshot like the open world on that next to the screenshot of open world on Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
The Switch 1 versions, just put them next to each other and go, who made which?
Yeah. It's pretty obvious.
Yeah, it's like night and day difference.
Game freaks suck at making 3D games, let's say that.
I'll go back to it. I think they should go 2.5D isometric.
I don't. I think
they should go back to Pokemon.
They should get some other developer in that knows how to make 3D games like Monolith Soul.
Will Nintendo ever abandon the hybrid format? Dream Profit was super.
Nah, I don't think so.
I think they're pioneering it.
I want them to stay. I don't know. Who knows? The thing that we know, right, is with the rise of all these PC handhelds, the rise of like the Nintendo Switch, right? APU manufacturers like AMD, Intel, Nvidia, they're all now going to be pushing hard for the leap in technology. And we're seeing a very quick leap in technology in these APUs where the CPU and the GPU is on the same chip. We're seeing a lot of performance increase, like much faster than typical like dedicated GPU or CPU like increases. So I think because of that massive jump, I think they're just going to stick with it, because by the Switch 3, we're probably going to have like a massive leap again.
Yeah.
You know, and I think and so on and so forth. So I personally, selfishly, don't want them to change the format, because having my handheld gaming console that I could be sat here playing and then go home and stick it on my TV, that's exactly what I want. I don't want anything else.
As Alma says, Nintendo's handhelds have always sold more than their console counterparts. When you think about the success of the DS series and the Game Boy series, like, of course, handheld is their number one.
Yeah.
And Alma's comment from software, I think that's in reference to who should make Pokemon.
Pokemon Souls. Yeah, that would be so good.
I'd buy it.
I would buy that.
But
it's only like
Pokemon.
the ghost Pokemon and stuff, so you're like up against like Gengar and stuff. That'd be cool.
Dark Pokemon.
Yeah, like
where
that.
they actually like die.
Yeah. Can they just mod Dark Souls or like Elden Ring?
Like a piece.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
That's how you do it.
Yeah, that'd be brilliant.
Oh, dude, if someone could mod Elden Ring to have Pokemon in it,
That'd be amazing.
that would be absolutely amazing.
Yeah, exactly. Dream Profit splitting of releases between handheld and that.
Oh yeah,
You fainted.
Brutal.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. I love that.
That's really got me.
I'd love that. I want Pokemon Souls now.
Why nobody has talked about whether the Switch 2 supports XR glasses like XR. You know what's really, really interesting?
It will do.
I was talking to Vitcher literally the other day.
Yeah. So we tested the XR glasses, the Vitcher ones and the Pros on the Switch 1, and it works. You just needed a splitter cable or their little dock converter thing. So I assume it would be exactly the same. It will just trick it into thinking it's docked mode and then output to the XR glasses. So if it can happen on Switch 1, it would definitely happen on Switch 2.
Yeah, it'd be kind of cool. For balance, this is from SDRJP. For balance, Pokemon models and their animations are top tier. It's just a matter of priorities. Most projects don't have 600 plus unique characters, animations, attacks, movements, and stuff. It's a fair point.
Yeah,
they do have a lot of assets to squeeze into a small space.
And also, Game Freak is a tiny company, and they try and churn out a Pokemon game like every year. So I just feel like they're rushed and overworked. Legends ZA looks very good. Yeah, it does. I think that looks very good on the Switch 2 side of things.
Well, the funny thing was that when there was the Direct and we saw like the first like proper gameplay footage of ZA and of Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah.
And it was, we all knew, obviously, I think they'd already made the announcement that the Switch 2's coming, but not like, it was just like the teaser trailer one.
Yeah.
And then they had a Direct in between.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, are we going to see Switch 2 games? And they were showing Switch 1 versions of Pokemon ZA and Metroid Prime 4.
Yes.
And it looked like awful, like someone had just gone over it like Vaseline.
Didn't it?
And it's like, it's so clearly the downscaled versions of these games.
Of the Switch 2 versions, yeah, I totally agree.
And as soon as you then saw the full Nintendo Direct with the Switch 2 and you saw like the tree houses,
how it should have been,
like,
yeah.
Oh God, this is how it should look.
Yeah.
So Switch 2 version of ZA, you're right. Does look good. Will I play it?
What, ZA?
And here's the thing.
I love the Pokemon stuff, so
it'll be the first
one.
Pokemon for me to like
properly.
I've like dabbled.
Bear in mind, this is a Legends game. It's not a mainline title, so this is like continuation of Arceus, basically, which I'm going to upset a lot of people here.
You really like Arceus.
I love Arceus,
and I'll be honest, I like the look of Arceus more than anything else.
I just love the gameplay because you're focusing on capturing the Pokemon more so than the battling. There is battles in ZA, so there's like whole like championships and stuff, and at night there's like
battle areas and stuff.
Like battle areas and stuff. I love that. Someone said Brittany's Miltank is the first Souls-like boss. You know, we got Pokemon Z to A. Would it be Pokemon A to Dead?
You guys are the absolute best. This is amazing.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Ashley says, weird thing, I have no experience with XR glasses. Do those work like work with regular consoles like PS5 and Xbox?
With the PS5 and the Xbox, you need to get their dock, so that you plug the HDMI out of the console into the dock, and then you plug the glasses into the dock. It's a bit of a faff. If you had like a handheld PC, for example, or a PC, you just USB-C it straight in and it'll work.
Persona would be insane. Like Pokemon.
Yes, and
because
Persona.
James but Atlas should make a Pokemon game and make it like Persona.
Yeah. Isn't that just like half the Persona games?
It kind of is, but it does make a lot of sense.
Like that one that they released a few years ago on Switch, and it was basically like adult Pokemon.
Oh,
in this, like a JRPG kind of anime looking thing.
Yeah, no, I know the one you mean.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I really wanted to play it, but I never bought it.
I can't remember.
I don't remember what it's called.
I'm going to be searching for my head for ages and won't be able to get it. What are your thoughts on possibly going all digital, but then these games, big sizes with limited amount of storage? Just found a 512 XD card for £98.
Click Boom. Don't shush. Be quiet.
Click Boom. Got a whole dedicated video exactly on this. We've coming out on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
Is it
not
podcast,
Tuesday.
isn't it?
No, it's not. It's a standalone video. It'll be coming out Thursday.
Oh, you got a whole week to wait.
You got.
Watch. If you promise to watch the video, I'll address it. Which is, what's my thoughts on it? You're gonna have to be careful with what games you install.
We're gonna have to be selective. I mean, that 512 gigabyte card, I'd probably just hold off that. If you're really desperate, buy a 256 at 50. I would say.
Here's the thing: don't buy the external storage yet.
Yeah, just see how you get on.
I've just given away the punchline from our video. Just wait.
Yeah, just wait.
Bishy says Pokemon the Final Catch. Pokemon Bloodshed.
Pokemon Bloodshed.
Arceus is the best Pokemon game on Switch. Shots fired, but I think you're right. And Temperance does have a really good point. We're making all these like
Power World.
It's just
you know, every day that goes by, Power World gets
more and more taken out.
Yeah, it gets hammered hard because they're sat with Nintendo lawyers right now going, see that? Scratch that. And then they do. And then, Power World's been hit hard.
It is, yeah. Captain Chats took delivery of his Tom Talk case yesterday in blue.
Nice.
I think that's the Switch 2 one. I think you were talking about that in the comments.
Yeah, we had an advert in what video? The GameCube video. We did a GameCube video, the games we want to see.
And they sponsored it with their new cases.
And they did, yeah. So,
and their new cases are awesome.
They are.
Not just because they paid us to say it.
Yeah, no, it's good. We've
they
always
didn't actually pay us to say nice things.
They just say do a thing.
Do a thing. But we've always liked their cases.
We have, yeah. That's why we originally started working with them.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you think Nintendo will ever do first-party travel dock / a third party makes a decent one? Might be harder to make a travel dock now due to that fan.
Yeah.
Would truly make it play anywhere, anytime.
Third parties are definitely going to be making docks. Like, no doubt we'll get our hands on them when they do. I don't think Nintendo will make one. You can't even buy the official Switch 2 dock currently.
No.
Like, you can't pre-order it or whatever because I need a second one already. Like, even though I'm going to have two in my house already because my wife's got a Switch and I've got a Switch, but I need a third dock because I want it in my PC for if I'm doing live streams. But yeah, there we go.
Chat says, Captain Chats, I have my wallet next to me whenever I watch you guys.
I love that.
Honestly, I think not just you watching these videos, you get kind of a feeling of what it's like for us to be friends with each other.
Yeah.
I genuinely think we're bad for each other.
Oh, yeah. Bad influence is hard.
Terrible influence
Very
for each
hard.
other.
AJ was like, I'm going to think about, I've got these Switch 1 games. I'm just going to keep these. I'm like, AJ, I found this crazy price, like Cyberpunk, like well cheap versus what it's everywhere else. He's like,
I'm going to have to buy it.
And then like 20 minutes later, he's like, I've just bought it. I'm like, look what I found cheap. And he's like, oh no. Okay, I bought that as well.
It was when you went, but Outlaws' pre-order's just available.
Yeah.
They don't charge you till September.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like, do you work for Ubisoft?
I've always been the same. I'm terrible. Hunt for bargains and buy things I shouldn't.
So basically what this is a group of people all together, you included, that are hopelessly influential and addicted to buying anything to do with gaming.
That's it.
We feed off you feed off us, and together we're all going to be poor.
Yeah.
But really happy.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Andy's wife must need to keep a close eye on their bank account. Unfortunately,
she's just as bad.
Yeah, she's just bad. But unfortunately, I deal with our finances.
Oh, that is terrible news.
She's my sugar mummy. I put it on her credit card and pretend like I didn't do anything.
Oh, I like it. Yeah,
No, I don't
that's
actually.
Good.
I don't.
That's good. So, as Eric says in chat, which I think is kind of a throwaway comment, but in relation to the title of this video, answer no. A 1080p, 120 hertz VRR HDR OLED literally doesn't exist.
Not at 8-inch currently. No.
No. Good point. But also, we talk often about VRR and OLED, and it's not a good combination because of flicker. That's not to say, because we get called up on it quite a lot, saying, well, I've got a OLED XYZ that's got VRR.
Yeah.
It exists.
Yeah, that's not the problem here.
It's the problem is it doesn't work properly.
Yeah. So I've got a 1440p, a 240 hertz OLED HDR Samsung panel, the Samsung G6, right, which is for PC. Incredible screen, like brilliant screen. That's OLED VRR. You know, it's got FreeSync Premium and G-Sync.
Yep.
And when it's plugged into my PC, my gaming PC, which is a really high-powered system with a 9800X3D CPU, so really, really good CPU, like the best gaming CPU, arguably. And then I got a 9070XT GPU. That pairing means my 1% lows are very high.
Yes.
So let's just really quickly, I know I explain this a lot, so I'm sorry for anyone that's heard this a lot. Let's just take 100 FPS.
Yep.
Let's say my game's throwing at 100 FPS, right? And my 1% lows, because they're so high, are around 85 to 90. So the game's averaging 100, but at worst case, it's only 10% less.
Yeah.
That fluctuation is very, very, very small. That means the monitor is not having to fluctuate hard to account for that variable.
Yes.
Right? However, when we're looking at handhelds that have got an APU with a CPU and a GPU within the same thing, frame rates can fluctuate huge.
Yes.
So let's just pretend like you could get 100 FPS out of an APU, right? The reality is your 1% low is probably like 30.
Yeah.
Right? So now you've got a massive variable, like, and it's not stable because it's variable. So it's just all over the place. Now your monitor's going, oh, I'm at 100. Whoa, I'm at 30. Whoa, I'm back at 100. Whoa, I'm at 30. You know, and it's going all over the joint. That's where you get like contrast flickering in the blacks, and it's hideous. However, if you plugged in like the same game on a real high-powered PC, get those 1% lows up, you won't notice because there's no flicker.
Yeah.
So this is the inherent problem. Like LCD tech doesn't suffer from this, but OLEDs do. So that's the only issue here.
Yeah.
And why we're not really seeing it on any like handheld PC yet.
Well,
other than the Lenovo Legion Go 2.
The Go 2, yes, the Go 2, which isn't out.
No, it's a prototype.
It's a prototype.
Yeah.
And all they've put is in the literature that it's an OLED VRR. They've not talked about if they've solved that problem.
No.
And here's the thing, I always talk about solving that problem. I can't think of a physical way in which they can solve the problem on low-powered hardware.
They can't.
I don't think it's physically possible to fix it.
No. It would just have to be OLED, not VRR.
Yes.
So it would have to be a locked, like the Steam Deck, because the Steam Deck is OLED, but it's not VRR. It's a 90 hertz panel.
But if for any games out there that are unsure, we've heard a lot about OLED, and Nintendo and Steam Deck, I think, did everyone a little bit of a misservice by selling it such a big thing.
Oh, the OLED thing. Yeah,
how important OLED is.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Oh, I love it.
Undeniably.
Yeah.
But if you have a choice and you have to choose between OLED or VRR,
yes,
every time a gamer should pick VRR.
Especially on low-powered hardware.
On a handheld. I'm talking,
yeah. On a handheld, VRR matters more.
You have to.
Yes.
Like, just because it matters more, it will improve your experience way more.
Yeah.
Ideal situation, you could have both. It just doesn't exist.
Yeah. Well, once that comes, and that's why we said, like, in 4 years' time, maybe, because if Samsung are now working with Nintendo and Samsung figure this out and fix VRR flicker, because there are ways around it. Even my monitor has like an anti-VRR flicker mode. Like, so they know it's a mode on the monitor. But the problem is all that means is that it just chops the refresh rate so that the base refresh rate is really high. So you still need to have a high-powered system.
It's kind of counterintuitive.
It's countering your 1% lows being crap. You know, so like it's just the way it is, unfortunately. The technology is not there.
And I'll go back to the point again. The panel that they're using in the Switch 2, with HDR in particular, especially Nintendo's first-party games that are really taking advantage of HDR, it looks kind of crazy good.
Yeah,
Like vibrant and contrasty.
And even though this is going to be low quality HDR because it's like an edge lit LCD screen, I'd still take low quality HDR over no HDR.
Producer Pete has appeared in chat. A producer Pete was spotted. Maybe,
he's like Pokemon.
Maybe he could be a character in our Pokemon made by From Software.
Can he be the character?
Can we get some chat? Can we get some likes dropped in the live? Mainly for producer Pete because he is a legend.
He is. Yeah. No one's ever seen him. No one knows what he looks like.
Yeah.
He's elusive.
Did he appear? He appeared once. Once or twice he has appeared,
times,
hasn't he?
Yeah. In the old Steam Deck videos, I'm pretty sure his bum was in one of them.
If you're willing to look, you'll find it.
I can't remember if I cut it out or not.
No, I think you left it in there. So long and short of it, as Eric said earlier in the chat, it's probably no is the answer, just because it's not feasible, it's too expensive. This is Samsung pushing Nintendo rather than Nintendo pushing for it to happen.
Yeah, this is just because Samsung are now making the chips for the Switch 2 and they've gone, hey, consider us, like, you know, you paying us to do an OLED version, because of course Samsung want you to make an OLED version. They're going to make millions of pounds out of you.
Austin says, I've just ordered the Spig and Grip armor case. Hopefully I can play without hand cramps that I had with Switch until I bought a new grip controller. Okay, the hand cramp thing, we were talking a little bit about this earlier. It's difficult to know because we didn't get to play for like multiple hours.
No, we played 4 hours total at the event, and probably a third of that or less was handheld. The rest of it was docked and mouse mode and everything else.
Yeah.
But we'll say the sheer size of this thing is so big, the weight distribution is so evenly spread, and the Joy-Cons are so much more rounded now. It's way, way, way more comfortable to hold than the Switch 1.
Yeah.
And obviously, once we get ours, obviously I'm going to play loads handheld, and we also have loads of cases and grips from other companies, and we'll go through, review them, tell you which one not to buy, which one to buy, like what's our favorite or whatever.
Spigen make great stuff.
Spigen do make good stuff.
You've probably made a great choice there. And my guy Despo with the best joke ever. Producer Pete used like chat. It was super effective.
I like it.
Casting, it's good.
It's good.
I'm in the market for a new TV. Currently, TV is an older 4K 60 from 2017, and I'm thinking about buying an OLED VRR TV. I have a PS5 and a Switch 2 on pre-order. Is buying OLED VRR a good idea for docked? That's actually a really good question.
If you can afford it and it's not going to put you out of, like, you know, pocket or anything, and you're planning to buy one of these, absolutely. I've got a 77-inch OLED VRR 120 hertz TV, and I wouldn't change it for the world. I'm looking forward to plugging my Switch into it. I'm disappointed the Switch doesn't support VRR docked. Whether or not we see that as an update or whatever in the future, who knows?
It's a weird one,
but definitely, yeah, OLEDs are brilliant. Like we're not. People think we're against OLED. We're not. We're just trying to inform people of how the tech works and what the problem is with it. Like I said, I've got multiple OLED screens. I love them, but there is an inherent issue with them. You know.
Have you guys been playing Final Fantasy Life? It's pretty darn good.
Final Fantasy Life?
No, sorry. I read that completely wrong. Fantasy Life.
Oh, Fantasy Life. No.
I just saw Fantasy and I was like, Final Fantasy.
Final Fantasy's Life.
So hardwired. And Stygian is the way.
Yes.
Not
Stygian.
Stygian. Like pigeon.
Stygian.
And how do you guys feel about those TomTok cases? I got one. Love how it feels.
Yeah.
Now I just need a Switch 2 to put in it.
Yes, I really like the feel of them.
Yeah, we love
wicked.
them.
Yeah,
really nice. Really well made.
Very well made. Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing to complain about, really.
Nope.
I think we're nearing the end.
We're pretty much there, aren't we? Yeah.
This is the end.
This is the end. Are you singing The Doors?
Yeah.
Oh wow, good.
Do you like it?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I think we've got to the end. It's been a little
journey.
while. Is Genki still going to be selling their stuff? I missed the legal issues.
I don't know.
We're good. Yeah, I got really good contact
question.
there. We really like Genki.
Genki really nice.
Their peripherals looked nice.
They are the reason we managed to go to the London event.
Yeah, they paid for us to go. It was really lovely of them, and their stuff's really cool. It looks really cool.
Yeah.
I love what the company's about as well, and their kind of cheekiness, but it looks like it might have bitten them a little bit.
They were a little bit too cheeky on that one. I mean, when they came out of it,
they were showing a prototype of the Switch 2.
But Well, it was a 3D model, wasn't it?
I mean, like D brand were close to the skin with it, but
Yeah.
they managed to get away with it for
Yeah.
now. Will they still be selling it? Look, I've reached out to them last week to see what's going on, and I haven't heard back. I'm going to follow them up next week just to see, just politely, and I'll let you know. I hope they are, because like you, I think their stuff looked kind of cool, and I really like the company. They're really good people. They were obviously trying to get some exposure because they're really small.
Yeah.
What was it we worked on them before this? Because it was something just before, wasn't it, from Genki?
We looked at the save point.
Save point, thank
the
you.
Saya Carry.
Yes, it was a Kickstarter, wasn't it?
Yes, the Kickstarter. Their really cool 100-watt plug, but
Yeah.
they didn't have a UK version for me, so
What
I
was
had
it?
to plug it into a
The
travel
save-
adapter.
I think the save point in particular was really cool for for Steam Decks and Allies
Yeah,
and
it's
stuff.
really cool. I like the Saya Carry. It's a very expensive case, but it's beautifully
Very
made.
good,
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know how many days we've got left to go. 13. 13
days. Why can't it be 2? Why can't it be tomorrow?
13
Why
days.
can't it be now?
I hope you all got your holiday booked in, ready for your day off
That's it.
in 13
I got my
days.
sick day waiting. I've got the text ready.
6 days. You know we work together, right?
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
I'm going to get one from you as well. Sorry, I was sick.
We text
Yeah,
each
me
other.
too. Yeah.
I'm off sick today.
Yeah. Oh, I see you play Mario Kart. Yeah, I'm really ill.
It's the only way I'll get through it. That
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Lucas Aid.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yes. Make sure you like the stream before we leave. It does help.
Yes.
I know
Yeah.
it's hard to remember on live ones, but just give it a thumb up before you go.
Yes.
If you're new here, please do subscribe to the channel.
Yes.
Consider sharing it and
Yes.
those things. If you're not a member
Yes.
yet,
Become a member.
it's 99p.
Yes.
And it does actually really help us out.
It does, yeah.
And you get to join us on Discord,
Indeed.
which is cool. There is some new members. Thank you for everyone for your super
Thank you
chats.
very much.
Make sure you go to the community tab to find your Discord login and all that.
Yes. And obviously, stay tuned for all the Switch 2 stuff dropping. We've got more videos next week and the lead up to the Switch 2. And of course, when the Switch 2 drops, AJ will be streaming. I'll be doing videos about it. And then I'll potentially be streaming at some point.
We'll see what happens.
We'll see what goes on. We'll see when that happens. But thank you
right.
so much for watching.
Love you long time.
Bye.
And ciao for now. Oh, that's a new one.
Ciao for now.
Ciao for now. See you later, guys.